I'm Debbie.
And I'm Allison.
And we're the Poltergals.
Spooky. Hi, I'm Allison.
And I'm Debbie.
And we're
The Poltergals.
So, once again, Debbie's not feeling the greatest.
Yay. What is wrong with me? I feel like it's been like nonstop. If you guys can hear it, like I literally feel snot running down the back of my throat right now. So if you guys can hear that through the microphone, I'm sorry. Just know this is as unpleasant of an experience for me as it is for you guys listening.
If it makes you feel any better,
I feel better.
It was a lot worse yesterday.
Yeah. Allison, like, literally was, like, force-feeding cough drops down my throat. Like, she literally was like, put this in your mouth. And I was like, okay.
It wasn't like that.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, I did bring a handful, like a giant handful of cough drops. And I was like, here.
Yeah. That's okay. She takes care of me.
Sometimes.
It's fine. That's how I know she loves me, even though she'll never say it.
What?
Never. She'll never say it.
Me?
It's fine. No, it's fine. Well, welcome back to another episode. Are we in 2023 yet? Are we recording in the future?
Technically, we're in the past.
Yeah.
But this
episode will come out
in the future.
2023. So
it's kind of like a blast from the past.
In the future.
So
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Yeah.
You made it to another year of listening to the Poltergals. How does that make you feel? You should be ashamed. No, I'm kidding. You should be glad that you stuck around with us this entire time. And seen us and learn together and grow together and all those other good things that people do together. A family that has spooky stories together stays together, right?
Sure. Totally.
Well.
All right. Well, this story is Grove Park Inn in Asheville, North Carolina.
Ooh. I really want to go to Asheville. I hear they're like a really good music city. I hear there's a lot of cool stuff. Also, I know a really cool couple that just opened a art gallery there. I mean, I don't know them, but I like know of them. They're like YouTube famous, so but I want to go.
You know, I want to go to that part of the country.
Yeah.
Because
honestly.
I've gone to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I've never been to East Coast.
Oh my gosh, Allison, I'll have to show you my vision board. We're on it. I made a vision board, and I put two little ghosts on it. I put like a little airplane by us, and like it's real cute.
Yeah,
so it'll be good.
I think that's kind of. I know last episode you asked me my New Year's resolution.
Mm-hmm.
I think I really want it just for us to be able to travel to like spooky stuff that's not in Texas.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. And I mean, if you guys caught my newest reel going to San Antonio, that's what I did for Christmas break. How was your Christmas, Allison?
It was a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Family is a lot. I understand that.
It was a lot. Man, so much family. And then I found out my Uncle Mario was eating my Nana's rice. Oof.
I don't like the way that sounds. My uncle was eating my Nana's rice? What does rice stand for? Is that a euphemism for something?
No. She makes the best rice. And let me tell you. No one eats my Nana's rice except for us. And then he goes over and takes a picture of Nana's rice, like a plate full of rice, and then sends it to my brother.
Oh, great.
And then my brother shows me, ooh.
You got angry?
And so, yeah, and then I go over and I call my Nana, and my Uncle Mario's there, and he's just sitting there laughing because my Nana gets mad at him.
Allison, your family is hilarious. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the episode. I feel like this has been a long intro, but we have a lot to talk about, and we're really excited to be in 2023, so.
Okay.
Allison, let's get started.
So, ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Since its opening in 1913, the Omni Grove Park Inn, located in Asheville, North Carolina, has been one of the country's most celebrated resorts. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places, the spectacular holiday destination has hosted countless luminaries. I don't know why I decided to put big words in there. Like, I read it, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds fancy.
That's what I want to be called in the future. I want people to, like, look back and be like, wow, Debbie, she was such a luminary. That'd be, like, so bougie. You know? Like, that's, like, my goal. I want to be in the luminaries.
Yeah, I don't know why I put bougie words in here for bougie places when I could just put bougie. But then if I read the word bougie, I want to even know that it says bougie because I don't know how to pronounce words.
Yeah. Anyway.
So the luminaries over the years, including U.S. President like Woodrow Wilson, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Wow.
Yeah.
JFK. FDR. DDE. I don't know. Why do they all have, like, their middle initial?
I don't know.
Anyway.
That is a great question.
I think it's just because they're so fancy, they add their middle initial, you know? Like, so fancy, you have to have your middle initial. Like, oh, that wasn't just Debbie Wright. That was Debbie L. Wright.
Just like you're so fancy that you have to change the E
Deborah
to your name
L. Wright.
to Edward.
Yeah.
Because apparently Howard E. Butt wasn't good enough. No, Howard Edward Butt. He had to change his whole name to make it Edward.
I like that HEB is the example that you use.
It's the only example that I knew of that I could think of on the spot.
Hey, that's fun. We always talk about how much we love HEB, so.
That's
HEB sponsor us.
We're both former employees, so it's
Yeah.
great. It's the perfect setup.
It's a perfect setup.
Set up.
Anyway.
The history of the Grove Park Inn traces back to an aspiring pharmacist named Edwin Willie Grove.
Again with the middle name.
I know, that's what I'm
Is this
saying.
gonna be a continued thing throughout the episode? Let's
Maybe.
find out.
Maybe. I kind of forgot because it's been a while since
I
I did the research. So, born on a rural farm in 1850s, Grove pursued a career in pharmaceuticals in order to elevate himself out of severe poverty. The first step in Grove's grand plan involving purchasing a pharmacy in Paris, Tennessee.
Not Paris, France.
No, Paris, Tennessee.
You know, we have a Paris, Texas, too.
I know.
Wanna go to
Sad.
Paris?
You know, one of the most common cities that starts with a U is Union. Union.
I would never have thought about that. I don't know why the first thing came to my head is like Eustace, but that's really
No,
E.
it's like it's Union and then something else. But like, there's a lot of states that have Union whatever. Like, there's a Union, Texas.
I was gonna say I know like Union Way sounds like a popular road, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Cool. The more you know.
Anyways, he invested all of his time formulating a tasteless formula that could fight malaria.
Yay.
Grove had created a beverage that he called Grove's Tasteless Chill Tonic.
Chill tonic.
That's
I didn't know he was chill like that.
so dumb. That was...
Anyway.
After several years of experimentation, which purportedly relieved the symptoms of the disease almost immediately,
Wow.
his tonic became an overnight success, becoming a household name after the contemporary concoctions like Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola had real cocaine in it.
Yeah.
Well,
but
wasn't
it also supposed to be like a...
Yeah. I mean, I think all sodas started out like tonics. I mean, we literally have Dr. Pepper here, and it was started by a doctor. Like, these are all pharmacists that were like, what can I make to cure this? And then Coca-Cola, they're like, hey, it's a good pain reliever. It tastes good. It makes you feel better. Here you go. Take some cocaine.
It's literally... it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Grove had even managed to sell about 1.5 million bottles of his tonic over the course of 2 decades,
That's crazy.
amassing a great fortune in the process. It was around this time that Grove first discovered Asheville, often ill with bronchitis.
Me too. That's what I have right now.
Is that bronchitis?
No, you're right. Bronchitis.
Okay, I was like,
have you ever had bronchitis?
I literally get it every year, twice a year.
Oof.
Yeah, I get it once, typically around this time of year, and then once again at the start of the new year.
I don't know. I don't have insurance, so I can't go to the doctor. So I'm just living this out. Whatever's happening right now. I'm just going with
Mine gets so bad that it like hurts to breathe, and like my chest, like I can feel it in my lungs.
See, I have asthma, so anytime I get sick, it's already like that.
Yeah,
like literally me last night, I was like, Cameron, I'm so sorry, I'm breathing so loud. I cannot breathe out of my nose or anything. So
yeah, no, mine's bad.
Oof.
So Grove's doctors recommended that he convalesce in the clean mountain air of
It's basically like the same thing with like Estes Park, where they're like, oh, you can't breathe very well or you're sick. Just go get some mountain air. You'll be fine.
That's so
Just go somewhere
weird.
high up in the air and just breathe.
Where the air is thinner?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's supposed to be easier to breathe. I think the oxygen count might be higher, but I've also heard that like you can't breathe as well. No, I don't know. Something about clean mountain air. That was the cure-all for everything back in the day.
So weird.
Yeah.
He at some point stumbled upon Asheville and quickly fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Despite his poor health, Grove continued to push himself to create bigger and better pharmaceutical inventions. He traveled the nation looking for new business partners, as well as novel sources of inspiration. On a trip to Detroit, Grove encountered a like-minded soul named Fred. The men formed a strong friendship that lasted over the years.
A strong friendship in quotation marks.
Exactly. They
were just friends back in the day. Just friends.
Duh.
Don't
Come
worry
on.
about it.
Who do you think they are?
I'm just joking. I don't know.
You think they living in 2023?
Maybe. You never know. They might have just been friends, or the men formed a strong friendship in quotation marks.
That's just all it was.
Yeah, that's all it was. Don't worry about it.
So Grove,
in history will call them friends.
So dumb. So Grove eventually invited Fred to a summer residence in Asheville, where they decided to work together operating the Paris Medicine Company. Grove and Seeley, which is Fred's last name, nevertheless started to see that another economic opportunity awaited them in Asheville itself. The two realized that the tranquil environs of Asheville provided the perfect setting in which to promote the health and well-being of the nation's Orrery.
Orrery?
Sure.
Where they get ore?
I don't know. That's a weird word. They quickly began planning for the creation of the grand hotel that would embody these sentiments. In 1909, Grove and Seeley purchased some 400 acres of land near Sunset Mountain to serve as the site of their scheduled retreat. Secluded. You know what?
Scheduled retreat.
Yeah, well, you got to schedule a retreat for that.
I guess so. Maybe you're right.
Duh. Because we can't just leave right now for a retreat. That's how you lose a job.
Right.
Grove and Seeley then began to construct their mountainside hotel not long after that. But they struggled to find the right architectural layout after rejecting the plans from several prominent architects.
They're like, you're not good enough for us.
I mean, I'm assuming if it's still a thing, which I think it is, I could imagine why they're picky.
I wanted it to be a test of time and be beautiful, of course.
I mean, duh.
Because these two men that are best friends just care about interior design so much.
I think you're inferring something a little too much, Debbie.
No inferences here. You know what they say when you assume. It makes an ass out of you and me. Anyway.
So Grove and Seeley then began to construct their mountainside hotel. Seeing eventually resolved the problem by presenting his own sketch of the hotel, which Grove quickly adored.
He was like, look at this cute little lake.
I was going to say, you got something about that?
I do got something. He was like, look at this little picture I drew. What do you think if we did this? And then the other guy was like, oh my gosh, like that's so cute. I adore that. And then they're like, let's build it.
I mean, apparently, yes, that's what happened.
That is exactly what happened.
Seeley's own plan called for the use of arts and crafts style architect in the hope that the structure would properly reflect the rustic culture of the Blue Ridge Mountains. The project provided to be a mammoth undertaking. Some 400 men worked on the building.
Oh, of course they wanted 400 men working on their building. Like, oh, Johnny, can you climb that ladder once again?
Boy. Oh, boy.
Anyway, 400 men.
Building after logging 10 hour per shifts over a 6-day week.
Oof.
That's yikes. The construction crew lugged thousands of pounds of granite up the mountain with just the use of rudimentary tools like mules and wagons.
That's crazy.
Nevertheless, Sealy Grove and their massive team managed to complete the hotel in just under a year. Named the Grove Park Inn.
Oh, they named it after Grove. That's cute.
How nice.
I knew.
The doors swung open for the first time on July 12th of 1913. Then Secretary of State William Jennings Bryan even gave the keynote address in which he proclaimed that the destination was built for ages.
Wow.
Charles Sammons of the massive real estate conglomerate. What?
Conglomerate. It just means like a combination of multiple estates.
Yikes.
I feel like I'm like the little clipboard. Like, am I just Clippy? Like, anytime I'm like, hey, that's what this means.
Listen, big words hard.
It's okay.
Sammons Enterprises acquired the entire building in 1955. Through Sammons Enterprises, Charles Sammons and his family significantly transformed the Grove Park Inn into a leading international resort.
Mm.
The accumulation of their work transpired during the late 1980s when they added the resort's renowned multi-million-dollar spa facility.
Wow.
The Sammons eventually sold the Grove Park Inn to KSL Resorts in 2012, which in turn sold it to the Omni Hotels and Resorts roughly a year later.
Fancy.
The company then began an extensive rehabilitation of the entire resort at the cost of $25 million.
Oof.
Omni Hotels and Resorts subsequently renamed the location as the Omni Grove Park Inn, a member of Historic Hotels of America since 2007. The Omni Grove Park Inn still maintains its status as being one of the most exclusive places and vacation throughout the entire United States.
So we can never go there because we cannot afford it.
Pretty much, yes, because they're expensive.
Very expensive.
The Omni Grove Park Inn is a historic resort located in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Asheville, North Carolina. It was built by Edwin Wiley Grove, of course, who, again, invented all that tonic, whatever.
Tectonic is like the plates of the earth.
Yeah, tectonic.
Just tonic is what you drink.
No, tectonic.
Okay.
Tectonic.
Mm-hmm.
The inn was used for some unusual purposes. During World War II, it was utilized as an intermittent center for Axis diplomats.
Ooh.
Later in the war, it was used by the U.S. Navy as a rest and rehabilitation center for returning soldiers.
Interesting.
In 1944 to 45, the inn was an army redistribution station, where soldiers rested before being assigned to other duties. The Philippine government operated in exile from the presidential cottage on the grounds during World War II. The Grove Park Inn has attracted many celebrities in the past 100 years, including William Jennings Bryan, who spoke at the hotel's opening, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Harvey Firestone, Albert Hubbard, Woodrow Wilson, John D. Rockefeller, General J. Parrish, Dean Smith, Jerry Seinfeld, David and Amy Sedaris. Yikes.
So many people.
Yeah. A lot of people. Also, William Howard, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and a bunch of people like that.
Scott Fitzgerald, Will Rogers, Bobby Jones, and even Barack Obama.
Yeah. F. Scott Fitzgerald lived at the inn for about a year in 1935 to 1936 when he was struggling with tuberculosis and alcoholism.
Everybody had tuberculosis back then.
Yeah.
And alcoholism, so.
His wife, Zelda, was institutionalized with schizophrenia in a Asheville hospital. Mementos? Mementos? Sure. That's too much. Of the Grove Park Inn's past are found throughout the public areas. Photographs of former notable guests hang in one corridor, and empty bottles of tasteless chill tonic and early menus are on display in glass cases.
That's cool.
Also in evidence is the 8-foot tall clock made by the Rohrcraft shop for the inn. With its hand-hammered face and oversized hardware, the clock may well be one of the most important objects to come out of the Rohrcraft shops.
Interesting.
The Grove Park Inn provides great activities, including horse-drawn carriage rides, an 18-hole golf course, 9 tennis courts, and a fully equipped sports center, as well as a nightclub and 8 gift shops.
Ooh.
The most appealing guest activities at the Grove Park Inn may be the simplest ones: a meditation before a blazing fire, or a post-dinner conversation in a mission rocker on the porch.
Aw, this place seems so romantic and fancy, even though it was used like in World War II, which is kind of weird, but that's where maybe our hauntings will come in.
All the good stuff comes from it.
And again, it was in the 1800s, so that's when the good things happen. All the good and spooky things. Actually, well, just kidding. It was the 1900s. It started in 1913, but that's still early enough. But yeah, wow, this place seems super nice and sweet. I guess we'll see what happens when we get into
the hauntings.
But first, you know what time it is.
Commercial break. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Spooky.
And now, back to the show.
Spooky. And we're back. So you know what time it is. It's time to get into the hauntings.
Actually, no, it's 2:35.
Oh, well.
Just like last time.
Wait, was it 2:35 last time?
I'm pretty sure.
Whoa, that's weird.
Or something like that.
We record about the same time, so I mean, it's almost like we have a schedule. We're actually recording a day early this week because my No Waco guest bailed on me, so it's
so
fine.
sad. But you know what? We're being productive, so
yeah,
it's
we're
okay.
Being productive. So Allison, you're gonna love this. So this is the story of the Pink Lady.
Oh.
She's not white. She's not in white. This is not a woman in white story, guys.
Maybe she accidentally washed her stuff with something with red.
She was bleaching.
Therefore, it became pink.
Good. Okay. So this is the story of the Pink Lady. As we mentioned earlier, although there have been several celebrity guests and U.S. staying here, there was one guest particularly famous to many of Asheville's residents. And to this day, she is still staying there. While her name remains unknown to this day, she has long just been known as the Pink Lady, and she answers to the Pink Lady. So, legend has it that the woman was wearing a pink gown at the time of her death. She apparently died from injuries that she sustained from falling from the balcony.
So, yes, she could have been wearing white.
Yeah, she could have been wearing white and maybe just bloodstained. It didn't wash out all the way. Or she was just wearing a pink dress. Who knows? But also, what was up with all these people falling from balconies, falling downstairs, getting blasted out of windows?
Exactly.
I think it's because they didn't have proper OSHA certifications. You know, like now they're like, oh, the railing height needs to be this high. Back in the day, they didn't have that. They're like, that railing looks safe enough. Was it safe? No.
Clearly not. People are getting blasted out of windows and breaking ankles.
Well, I mean, in this situation, it was very unclear of whether it was an accident, suicide, or even maybe a murder.
Oh.
Yeah, so for the next 75 years, many hotel guests and staff members have told plenty of stories about the Pink Lady and her hauntings. I don't know if it says on here, but in one of the things I was reading, she likes to tickle people's feet. And I was like, why?
Well, I've heard that apparently depending on where you are and how you're raised, there's some superstition. Did you spill some 7-Up?
Yeah, it just came out my mouth. Just straight out my mouth. Anyway, what were you saying?
So in some cultures, if you sleep with your feet towards the door, it's kind of like you inviting the spirits to pull you from your bed, like pull you by the ankles and out the door.
Well, this lady, she's a more good ghost. So she's not gonna spook you. She's not gonna tear you out of your bed. Like I said, I think she's just a little prankster. So there have been various stories that have connected the Pink Lady's death. But none of them have ever actually been confirmed. Like I said, was it a suicide? Was it a murder? Was it an accident? We'll never know. One story told was actually of the woman who was visiting a man she carried an affair with. So we're starting with scandal. Word had it that after the man ended the affair, the woman then committed suicide by jumping from the balcony. Another story concluded that a young woman had accidentally slipped and fell to her death. Maybe after one too many bubbly bottles.
Oh.
Interesting. However, she died, and it may have been, and no one really knows what it is. So she actually died in the early 1920s, like right after they opened. And there's been a long string of hauntings and paranormal activities that have occurred since then. And actually that still happened to this day. So people like immediately remember like, this lady died, and then weird stuff started happening. Interesting. It said that the Pink Lady, again, as I mentioned, is more of a good-natured ghost compared to sun spirits that typically haunt hotels and abandoned buildings. But we've also talked about, like in the past where we're like, if people like a place they're staying, they're just going to stay there. And I mean, this place seems kind of fancy. So, like, I would want to stay there too.
Have you tried the AI thing?
No, I have not.
So, there's this AI thing on TikTok. AI manga.
I sent you the TikTok.
Yeah. So apparently, if you use
People are using it to ghost hunt.
Yeah, to ghost hunt, which is kind of cool.
Maybe we can do that.
Since you sent that to me, it's like every post is that. Every single one of them. I'm like, okay, I get it. Ghosties.
Well, this ghostie is beautiful. She's a little pink lady, and she, like I said, is a practical joker. So that's fun. So these pranks include lights being turned on and off without anyone touching the light switch, air conditioners switching on and off.
Oh.
I think she's just a little chilly. Doors opening and closing when no one is coming in and out. And she may also have a strange habit, as I mentioned earlier, of tickling people's feet. Tickling the feet of sleeping guests. She just wants to tickle you.
So dumb.
Tickle me, Ghost Mommy. I love her.
No.
We're bringing back Ghost Mommy.
No.
Some guests with children actually recalled saying that the woman in pink was seen playing with them and having fun. And then when it came to check out, one guest actually told a staff member to pass along the message to the lady wearing pink whenever they were leaving. And they're like, ma'am, that's a ghost.
Oh, speaking of bringing back stuff.
Yeah.
This episode is just random of, yeah.
By the way,
I found in one of those books by Lone Pine Publishing.
Shout out Lone Pine Publishing.
Yeah.
We love you.
They talk about Sally. That you remember the Sally story with the doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah. They talk about it.
Wow.
And I'm like, spooky.
We love all the Sallys, Billy and Sallys in the world. Also, we literally talked about the Sally house, which was not about Sally the ghost, who we have named Sally. Anybody that doesn't know, Billy and Sally's are any unnamed children that have passed away that are now ghosts.
Yeah. And if you don't know that, then you better go watch some of our older episodes, because duh.
Yeah, no.
That's where all the funny, stupid, when we first started. When we
have so many inside jokes over like the last year of Poltergals. We're sorry. Okay, back to the story. So this is the story of room 554. Or, sorry, 545.
Yeah.
545. 545, okay? So, as we mentioned in some class, some rooms have more activity than others.
Okay.
At this end,
okay, Stanley.
It's 545. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Mrs. Stanley. So it's actually said that the Pink Lady may have stayed in room 545, or that was the one that she fell off the balcony, or at the time of her death. This room had a balcony, which could have been the one that she fell from. Legend has it that her spirit lives here in the room, and when she is not wandering the halls or the hotel grounds. So she's most active here. If you're planning on staying at the place, you might not actually be able to snag it because it gets booked up so close. If you're close to it, you may get a chance to see her or anywhere in the hotel. And then like the people that have stayed in room 545 in the past have reported feeling cold spots in the room. But then other people who have stayed on the same floor have reported feeling the same thing. So it might just be like the full floor, but more specifically, again, the bedroom, even though it's the most haunted and you probably can't get it because it's booked up. Others have seen a woman shrouded in pink mist in the hallways on some days. When the hotel was closed for repairs and renovations in around the 1950s, one of the workers started feeling quite uncomfortable when he was getting close to room 545. He started to get cold chills to the point where he decided to just leave the floor quickly, and he literally never returned. He was like,
nothing.
I'm getting weird vibes. I'm not going to go near this room, and just left. So instead, he actually sent some of the other crew members up there to finish the job and get done. He was like, I'm not going to go up there, but can you guys go finish this real fast so we can freaking leave this creepy place?
He's like, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah.
Have fun. I'm going to sit here and look pretty.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't until around the 1990s when paranormal investigators were finally able to check out what all the hubbub was about. During this time, they interviewed over 50 people and were actually able to get enough evidence to prove that the Pink Lady herself was, in fact, real. And she is a fixture of the hotel even to this day.
Aww.
So, yeah. If you guys are looking for a nice way to get around and go see something, go to the Grove Park Inn and meet the Pink Lady. Not the woman in white.
Thank God.
Or maybe she just washed her laundry with a red sock.
Don't you know, you don't, I say that, and yet I wash my stuff with colors.
Wow. I know. I don't separate my laundry either.
Neither do I. I literally,
Neither does the lady in pink.
Clearly, we've learned nothing since we've invented washing machines.
I know. Washing machines?
Washing machines. Washing machines.
But yeah, so that's all for this episode. Again, we wanted to get into the new year. We want to talk about parties. We want to talk about a cool place to go with a nice little ghost mommy who's not spooky.
Yeah.
And we just, we wanted to give you guys another good one because sometimes we feel like, again, we get bogged down by sad boys. And this one's not a sad boy. This is a party hardy good girl. I mean, it could be a little sad if she did commit suicide, but maybe.
I mean,
maybe not.
We may never
Slew
know.
or slide. Trigger warning. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Poltergals. Welcome to 2023. And that's all for this episode.
Bye.
Bye. You've been listening to The Poltergals,
a Rogue Media Network podcast.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.